Elisa Martin Garijo. She's the chief of technology from Spain, Portugal, Greece, and Israel as well. And this distinguished engineer, so is a town because almost everyone here is an engineer. He's also a member of the leadership team at IBM, Academy of Technology, and in her chief technology role, Elisa leads technology and innovation in the region with the main objective of stimulating smart solutions of Spain companies and institutions using technology and innovation as drivers. In this role, she's the leader of the IBM Innovation Network, a community of professionals able to transmit innovation experience and technology to enterprises and society, and brings value by connecting clients with IBM research. As a member of the IBM Academic Technology Leadership Team, Elisa participates in investigative studies in international and national levels, and she holds 2 patents and several written collaborations in studies with technical products and process. As an executive, she's responsible for maintaining excellence and vitality in the technical community of SPGI IMT, supporting the second IBM value, innovation that matters for clients and society. As a specialist in large company systems, web architectures and applications integrations, she has participated in the design and kickoff of a multi-channel solution company corporate architecture and specific grow development systems. Previously, she added the architecture technology in the line of negotiations for business consulting service of IBM Spain, and as a chief architect, she successfully led the architecture, developing and integrating the application systems of the Sydney in 2000 Olympic Games. Her extensive experience and leadership was in the field of technology, data management, IT infrastructure, systems administration, applicable development. Actually, your first degree was a mathematics degree, right? Is that right? It was from your origin, you are a mathematician?
Yes,
yes, okay, mathematician. So, from the University of Madrid, is a certified information technology architect in applications and e-business infrastructures, and Elisa has over 27 of industry experience, and will share some of it with us now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your words. Okay, bom dia.
Bom dia.
Tudo bem? Well, this is all that I know in Portuguese. It's really a pleasure to be with you. It's an honor to receive this invitation and to have this audience with me. And well, we are going to try to talk now in the next, I'm going to try to do in 50 minutes, but about us. We are going to talk about us. The organization requested me to talk about the human view of the innovation. And if we are talking about innovation, we are talking about us. Usually, I try to keep the people in the audience together, because when we talk about us, we talk about us as a community. If we talk about innovation, we talk about community. And let me go a little through the presentation, what I prepared. Well,
Just press discuss.
okay.
Just press discuss.
Yes, I am going to start to review. I am not going to go in deep or to read all the information that you have in front of you. You are able to read it, okay? What I try to tell you is, if we talk about innovation, we talk about to identify areas where we can produce change. Innovation is change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And we have a lot of things to change. We are living in a world, we are living in a planet, we are living in a society that we have a lot of areas to improve. Yes, we need to recognize what are the kind of areas that we like to improve. Do we like to improve the distribution networks? Do we like to improve to identify the fraud? Do we like to improve to understand and optimize the healthcare systems? Do we like to talk about the traffic? Do we like to talk about how many hours, how many petrol we lose during our traveling hours? Or do we like to talk about what are the travel that one carrot goes through the US in order to, from the production to the consumer? Really, we are working in a world that the energy is one of the key elements, one of the key natural resources that we need to keep for the future. And still, we are losing a lot of power computer in the distributed systems that we have. But also, when we talk about these distributed systems, the other issue that we have is that we spend so much in the cooling of the systems, but not in the cooling of the system itself, in the cooling of the air that need the systems. So the key question is, can we do better? The reality is that really we have an opportunity of $4 trillion. I would like to recommend you to go through this document. This document is part of the Institute for Business Value Research Institution that IBM has. And this document talks about what are the complexity and the dynamic of the system of systems that at the end represent the $54 trillion of money that we spend in the current systems. And when we talk about systems, we talk about transport, we talk about healthcare, we talk about energy, we talk about telecommunications, we talk about the industries. In these systems, the economists estimate that we are currently, there are inefficiencies of up to $15 trillion. Can we do better? And the answer is, we have an opportunity of $4 trillion. So that means this is a good news for the innovation. This is a good news for people that look for change. Because there are space. We have a lot of space to improve. Also, we know how to do things. There are a lot of examples in our lives, and we are seeing some of them in the previous presentations, that we can improve the way that we do the things. We know how to reduce the process, and in order for a cancer treatment, we are able to reduce the treatment from the period between the diagnostics to the treatment between 1 week until 50 minutes. Because we are able to automatically planning and calculate the situation in order to point the treatment in the right cell in the people. We know also how to design a machine and how to design a simulator to simulate the human heart. We know also how we can improve the diagnostics for the doctors in the cancer area. We have now a machine, we have now a system that is able to help the doctors to go to the right diagnostic in the less time. This is what we call Watson systems, that we did a demonstration 2 years ago, playing the Jeopardize. And now this Watson system is in the universities, in the university, with the students, learning diagnosis. Sitting in the class with the students. The workshop system teach the students about how to identify the symptoms, and how to go through the rationale to the right treatment. And the students teach Watson about when he is right, when he makes an error, and how I interact with him in order to learn how to interact with human people. But if we move to other industries as agriculture, or we move to water, or we move to energy, also we know and we have a very good examples about how to improve and how to catch these $14 trillion of opportunities. So we know how to do that. As innovators, we know the problems that we have. We know that we have technology to resolve these problems. Currently, there are an integration or intersection of 5 technologies that is changing the era of the computing. We have mobiles, we have the cloud. These 2 things are changing the interaction between the people and the computer systems, and also it's changing the way that we consume the technology. And at the same time, we are creating a new natural resource. And the new natural resources is data. What you can do with all the data that currently we are able to digitalize. Because currently, what we are talking about is about to connect the physical worlds with the digital worlds. We can touch the natural elements, doing the transformation from the natural behavior to the digital behavior. What we can do with all this data? So we have area to improve, we have an opportunity for it, we have the technology and the knowledge, okay? And also we are in the best moment to use all of this technology and integrate all of this in order to do what? To create value, to create solutions that produce value at the solutions that we see before. But in our industry, there are 2 ways to do this change. And remember this sentence: nothing changes if nothing changes. And every day, things are changing. So if something changes, something changes. I don't know if, for me, that's very, very illustrated about what innovation means, okay? Because nothing, if the people, we think that we can still for years in the comfort zone, and it's not the real world that we have around us. Because the world is changing every day, every minute. If something changes, something changes. And in our industry, the changes happen in a very disruptive way when we talk about information technology. So at the end, again, we are talking about people. This is the reality. I try to explain to you what is the reality that we have, okay? But with all this reality, we need to come back to the people. We need to come back to the talent that are going to help in us to manage the change that we have in front of us. And what is the kind of people that we are looking for? What is the kind of profile that we are looking for? What is the kind of profile that we need as a society, and the kind of profile that we need as a companies? We need something that we call T-shaped profile. We need a profile that has 2 dimensions, okay? The horizontal dimension and the vertical dimension. When we talk about the vertical dimension, we are talking about deep knowledge. What is your reputation? What is really what you know? What is the knowledge that others are going to tell someone else that you know? What is your reputation? And when we talk about the horizontal profile, is how broad is your culture? How many industries you have in a general view? Because remember that when we talk about the system of systems, and if we talk about the challenge and the 4 trillion from 3 million opportunity space, we are talking about the intersection in space between the industry. We are talking about the connection between education and economy. We are talking about the connection between healthcare and traffic. We are talking about the space between healthcare and education. We are talking about that. So if we are talking about this, that we have a lot of opportunities in this intersection space, we are talking about people that is able to understand different kind of industries in a general term. But also, we are talking about people that is able to communicate. We are talking about people that is able to take a lead, to be leaders. And all of this in a region. We know to understand the things in the environment where the things is happening. It's not the same to talk about water when we talk about countries in the Mediterranean area that if we talk about countries in the northeast area of Europe. When we talk about economy, it's not the same if we are talking about the economy in the region that currently I lead as innovator, that the economy that happened in the China. So it's also important to understand that now the innovation happening here. It's about us. It's about the things. It's about the change that we are able to execute now and here. We. And if we talk about innovation, for sure, we are going to take a look at all these work. And there are one that is as bigger as the innovation, that is collaboration. And this is why I said about we, about us. Because without collaboration, the innovation for the future is not going to happen. And when we talk about collaboration, we are talking about the collaboration between entrepreneurs and the university, the collaboration between entrepreneurs and companies, the collaboration between university, entrepreneurs, companies, and institutions. We are talking about to connect all the points and to connect all the networks. In IBM, we discovered that this that Gartner suggests is not reality. We have different ways to manage the innovation. And we identify and we manage in these 2 ways. One of them is very formal mode, and the other one is just very anarchical model. The reason mainly is because in the innovation cycle, each of the employees are part of the innovation cycle. And we use the 2 different models with 2 different objectives. We use the first model when we talk about research and development. We use the first model when we are talking about the 3,000 researchers persons that we have, that they are going to produce the core of our knowledge. But even if we talk about the core of our knowledge, we are talking about 6,000 patents last year. 20 years producing the top number of patents in our market, in our industry. But even if we know that research contributes to these patents, the 25% of the number of these patents, The rest of the patents is about all the employees. All of us participate in the patents effort. And the reason why we put so many effort in the patents is because we know first that we need to demonstrate in our market that we have the knowledge, that we have the reputation, that we have the natural resources of the knowledge. And the second part of this is because we like to have the freedom of action. The other side, when we talk about an Arctic model, this is one example. We have a program that is called JAM, and in this program, all the employees participate in the program. We have just one jump that was 1 month ago, 1 month and a half ago, to discuss what are the evidence of our values. 8 years ago, we have an agenda to define what are the values for our company. Our company defined the values based on the feedback of the employees. But also, our company defined the Smart Planet strategy based on the information at the jump that they did with the employees. This is about we. This is not about one department that is able to create innovation. This is about everyone is able to impact with disrupted ideas and with disrupted knowledge in the market and in the region where the people is. When we talk about innovation, we talk about all of these enablers, and I put it here because I think this is for any company. We have our examples of IBM as a company. We have our example, our programs that try to be the enablers for innovation. But just take a look of your profile of entrepreneurs, and you can see that in your ecosystem, you need to have things like that. You need to have things like business strategy. You need to have things like permission and alignment. What is going to be your values, how you are going to execute, and so on, so on. But what is important is you need to have a space for collaboration. This is the IBM cycle of innovation, and as you can see, we have a lot of several programs inside that cover all the innovation cycles. And if you see the big difference here is we have innovation programs inside. That means that employees are execute with employees, and the other is when we execute this innovation with the universities, with other companies, and so on. And now to finalize, I am not going to go through all of this. I know that there is a lot of words here, but I like to remark that the new realities of innovations is about complex systems. We have a gap in our world, in our planet, that we are able to fulfill with our skills in order to manage complex systems that produce big data. And also that all of this, at the end, is to create this solution to fulfill the 4 trillion millions of opportunities. And again, the innovation is not about me, about one person. It's about all of us. The innovation is now about think as innovation mashup, radical collaboration, and they require clear leaders with a clear vision and strong management skills to manage the complexity of the system that we put together. So just putting all the pieces together. Think us as the leadership, impact, eminence, and the world where we have the opportunity. Thank you very much.